Welcome to The Power of a Teacher, a podcast here to highlight the impact educators are having in the world around us. I'm your host, Vanessa Edmond, and joining me today is no one else but Miss Forrest, a teacher that did not just impact the students that was in her classroom, but that actually changed the way I thought and the way I saw education.
Wow.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
No problem. Thank you for joining me. I am so glad that you can join me in the very first episode.
Wow. Thank you. I'm
You,
excited.
you ready to get started?
Let's do it. I'm so ready.
All right. Thinking about right before we kickstart our questions, tell the viewers a little bit about you outside of being like a math educator and a coach. Tell us a little bit about Miss Cornelia.
Outside of education, I am someone who just loves to be around people. Or it depends on the situation, but for the most part, I like to be around close family and friends. I'm an adventure girl, so I like to try anything once. I am recently got into gardening, so I'm really enjoying that, doing that at home.
All right, gardening. That's
Yes.
a new one for you.
Yes. I feel like it's my personality now.
Okay, how's that going?
It's going well. It's going well. Some things died, but that's okay. We just buy new plants to replace it, so it's okay. It's okay.
All right. So thinking about gardening, like I started being a plant mom myself. So thinking about my flower that just lost all its leaf, but when I put it back, how it started blooming again. How does that connect to you being a teacher and being in the classroom?
I think that you have to picture students as like plants that you get what you pour into them. So you have to pour in that love. You have to give them that TLC. You have to give them that nourishment in order for them to grow. Not just in the classroom, but outside the classroom as well. Making sure that they grow as a whole child.
Definitely. And thinking about my desert rose, like the minute I put her outside, she was being poured into the water, the rain, the sun, and she's blooming. So think about like the students as we pour into them, we get to see the better version of them.
Yes.
So thinking about those people, is there anyone in particular that poured into you from the time you were in the classroom?
While I was in the classroom?
While you were a student?
Okay. While I was a student. Okay. So a teacher that really poured into me and that really loved up on me and nourished me like a plant is Miss Curran. She was my high school ELA teacher. She was an amazing teacher. She didn't just care about me academically, but I could tell that she cared about like the relationships that I was making with my friends or my home life. She really cared about all the facets of me.
Oh wow. Okay, that's impressive right there.
Yes, yes.
Do you think that a tribute to the teacher that you became?
I think so. Not just how she taught, but also her personality. She was very outgoing, she was very engaging, and so in the classroom, I just feel like while she was teaching, she was also putting on a show. She was very theatrical, very extra, if you will. But at the end of the day, she was very engaging, and we all paid attention in Miss Curran's class. So I do believe that I did take some bits and pieces from her, and that helped mold me to be the type of educator I am today.
Wow, that's powerful, right? From
Yes.
such a young age, the things that we don't often see. Do you think she was aware of the impact that she was having on you?
I don't think so. And I think it's important to know that I did not want to be a teacher early on. That was something I eventually got into. But I don't think Miss Curran was thinking about that or thinking about the impact that she was having on students. I think Miss Curran was just being Miss Curran. She was again being very engaging, loving up on her students, showing that she cared about their academics and in their personal life. I just think she was just being herself, and she naturally just rubbed off on other people around her.
All right. Thinking about the things we don't see or the things we don't get to say. If you had anything to say to Miss Curran, if she was watching
Oh
this
my
episode, what would you
goodness.
say?
If I saw Miss Curran, I would just say thank you for being you. Thank you for um letting me know that I was capable of doing anything, that I was that the possibilities were endless. And thank you for just seeing me in a sea of students, especially in high school when you have multiple periods and you see multiple students throughout the day. I truly felt seen by Miss Curran. So I'm really thankful for that. That's what I would tell her.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
powerful. Well, if you know Miss Fran or you watch this, please make sure she get this message, right? Thinking about other teachers that are currently in the classroom right now that sometimes wonder, am I really making an impact? What would you tell them?
Hmm. I think sometimes when you're in the thick of it, like where you're truly in the mud, it's really hard to see like what kind of impact you are making on students, but you truly are. And so the message that I would give to other teachers, just keep going at it. As long as you're trying your hardest every day, that you're trying your best to improve your pedagogy, that every day when you step into that schoolhouse, you're thinking, okay, how can I be a better educator? I would just say continue to stick with it because you never know who you are having an influence on.
Definitely. You just never know.
You
And
never know. Never know.
thinking about never know, did
Hmm.
you know how you impacted my classroom?
You know what? Now you let me know, but at the time when we taught at the same school, no, I did not know. I did not know at all. Um, you gave me compliments like, oh, I really liked your lesson, but I didn't realize that I had such an impact on you. So it's every time you tell me that, it's really jarring for me. I'm like, oh, I did. I didn't realize that. I was just doing my thing, and I didn't realize that I had an impact on you. So it's really refreshing to hear.
Definitely. And like if we backpedal and take the viewers back, right? I remember
Hmm.
first year teaching and then, instructional rounds. I went
Yes.
to a first classroom. I thought, like, I'm doing great. Like, I'm killing it.
Yeah.
This is working. And
Hmm.
then when I walked into a classroom, I had to double check. Like, I was like, hold up, am I still on the same campus? Like, it's still,
Oh my
still,
gosh.
is it still the same kids? Like they came in, they sat, they took out their stuff. Like I still remember it till this day. Like they went straight to work. By the time
Hmm.
you came into the door, they were ready to learn. They were having conversation. You even gave somebody a detention that day, and I was like,
I did.
hold up, what happened?
Sounds
What
about
did
right.
but to see kids engage in like academic discourse, like talking just about math, it was just like it wasn't like someone telling me I could do this. You made it believable for me, like, oh,
Hmm.
this is achievable. This is the same kids. They're having a math conversation be without being off task. They are engaging in the lessons. So
Hmm.
it made me realize like it was possible.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I think it's important to know. Well, first of all, thank you. My goodness. But I think it's also important to know that those kids didn't start off that way. That took a lot of like relationship building. It took me getting to know them and letting them see that, hey, even though I'm your teacher, that I care about you and I want you to be successful. It required a lot of routines and procedures, doing stuff over and over again until they realized, like, oh, Miss Forrest means business. When she comes in here or when we come into the classroom, this is what we need to do, or this is how we need to conduct ourselves. So it took some time. So I think that's also important to know, like when you go into a teacher's classroom, you are getting a little bit of a snapshot, but sometimes you don't see like the things that occurred behind the scenes to get those students to where they are. So, but every time I talk to you and you tell me that, it's just, it gives me little butterflies. So I really appreciate you giving me, my flowers. I appreciate that. Thank you.
no, definitely. And what's interesting is that even in this moment, you still
Uh-huh.
share the same feedback because that's what I had asked you. I was like, how
Hmm.
did you get them to do that? And you're like,
Yeah,
oh, I started
it
on
took
day one.
time. Yeah,
Like, I started having those expectations and setting up
absolutely.
the classroom a certain way for the kids to thrive. And I
Hmm.
took that. The second year, I ran with it. Like, on day
Okay.
one,
Yeah.
I was setting up the classroom for
Hmm.
success. And just knowing that it's achievable
Hmm.
was like all the things I needed to move forward.
Wow. Thank you.
Knowing that, what is something about being a teacher that people don't see or truly understand?
Mm. It requires a lot of you. It requires a lot of you in that, because I think now people being on social media and teachers now posting like things about like their day to day and things that they go through. I think that now people have a better idea, but it's important to know that I'm not just teaching. It's very draining on you sometimes, mentally, physically. I'm not just teaching a student. I'm also trying to speak life into them. I'm also trying to motivate them and make sure that, when they leave outside of my classroom, that the things that I'm instilling in them, that they're going to continue in the rest of their life. And so I would just say that it's hard. And not just that it's hard, also you also have to think about the student and their background as well. So me growing up, I grew up in a two-parent household. I would say I grew up in middle class, and so I would say growing up I was really sheltered. And so when I got into education, my first year teaching, and I'm looking at these students and I'm like, oh, these students, they're different than me. They're growing up differently than I am. And so I had to take that into account when I'm teaching them. You know, if you have a student who may not have had a meal or their home life is not the best, and then you want them to come into your classroom and perform and do some math, their basic needs aren't being met at home. So that was something that was really shocking to me. That's something I had to realize, like going into education. I think other people need to realize that as well. It's hard. It's rewarding, but it's hard.
And thank you for sharing that, right? Because sometimes those unseen parts can become really, really heavy
Mm-hmm.
as a teacher. Because you're
Yes.
not just a teacher. You're like a mom. You're like dad. You're like, oh,
You're a little bit of everything.
you're a little bit of everything for the 8 hours that you on campus.
Yes.
So, was there ever a moment where you felt overwhelmed or questioned if you should continue? What did that moment look like to you?
I think there were a lot of moments where I felt overwhelmed. Sometimes when you talk to the students and you get a little bit of their story, a little bit of their background, you're like, "Ooh, this is heavy." But in particular, when it comes to my career being an educator, there has been moments where I'm like, "Am I supposed to be doing this? Is this really what God is telling me that I should be doing?" Um, and I would say it wasn't particularly a moment. I think it was several moments, and I remember it was maybe like my seventh or eighth year teaching. And I was just like, I am tired. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I don't think I'm making an impact. Um, and so it was hard. That I remember my seventh or eighth year of teaching, it was hard. My friends were they knew about it. My parents, they knew about it. I felt like I was in a rut in education.
But you're still here.
I'm still here. It
And
was
that
a
says
rut.
a
I got
lot.
through it.
That
Yes.
says a lot.
Yes.
So, what helped you push through those difficult moments?
I think being reminded of the impact that I am making. I think a lot of times teachers in the education field, we are always so used to giving students feedback. Like, you guys are doing good. You just got to do this or do that. And I think on the teacher side, sometimes that is lacking. You know, you have administrators, you have people come into your classroom and they observe you or whatever, but nobody's telling you the positivity that you are doing in your classroom. I think so. For me, that was lacking. Um, and I think also when I talk to people like you or talk to other educators, they reminded me like, this is your mission. You have the personality for it. You have the heart for it. Even though you might be frustrated with the career, at the end of the day, at your core, that you really care about these kids and you want them to be successful. So that was something I had to be reminded of, and that's why I stayed.
And definitely, and think about it, your impact
Mm-hmm.
has reached beyond just your classrooms, right?
Yeah.
Because whoever thought me when I first started, like I was more scared of the kids than anything.
I was too my first year. I was a little bit. I was like, "Ooh, this is different." Okay.
Very different.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time I was at a middle school campus?
Mm-hmm.
But just to see the ability to now turn around and not only impact my students, but being able to impact others. But it all started with you just being you and
Yeah.
doing all the things.
I appreciate
So
that.
I'm
Thank you.
grateful and I'm thankful for your impact.
Yes, thank you.
What inspired you to transition to coaching?
People around me, they because I had been teaching at the time for like 8 or 9 years, and I was used to people coming in and out of my class. Some would say that my classroom was like considered like a model classroom. It wasn't perfect, but I had classroom management down pat, and at the end of the day, the kids were learning. It wasn't always good, but I tried my hardest, and so um, I think over the years, I just really tried my hardest to improve my pedagogy. And then I had a couple of people tell me, like, hey, you should definitely become a math coach, because when you're a coach, you are coaching other teachers, like you're doing multiple things. And so you have enough strategies in your toolbox to now you should be able to go ahead and teach others how to improve their teaching as well. So I think it was other people that let me know. And then I was like, maybe I should. But at the time, I wasn't thinking about it. Someone had to bring it to my attention.
And we are grateful for those people, right? Because I'm pretty sure you're impacting, not just instead of impacting 125 kids, but now you're able to impact, even if it's like 10 teachers that can go back and now each impact 125 students.
I didn't think about it like that.
That's
Yeah.
major.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's coaching going?
It's going good. I think it opens your eyes to a lot of things. Being a coach, you do realize that, well, first of all, when you're a teacher, you're in your own bubble. So you only care about what's going on in your classroom, your kids, your specific data. But then when it comes to you being a math coach, now you're caring about what's going on in the other classrooms and those students that are also being impacted and what their data looks like and what kind of strategies can you do in order to prove their data. So it's different. I like it, but it's different. Yeah.
And I will have to agree to, like, it's different, right? Because once you straight, it's like it's almost increasing your capacity in a way, because now you're not just thinking about 125 kids. It's like, okay, what can I help this teacher do that will shift the trajectory of all those students that they have?
Students, yeah.
Versus like, it's easier to just go in there and be like, okay, I can teach algebra in a heartbeat.
Yes.
But
yes.
Now I have to impact somebody else.
Right.
So earlier you mentioned something about sometimes some of those positive moments, like you don't get to fully see them. So what would you tell a teacher that's coming back now? When they watch this video, being spring break, they're coming back and they're getting closer to the EOC. What would you tell them in that moment about the impacts they are making and what are some strategies they can use to better review with their students?
Okay, so a piece of advice that I would tell the teachers is to just stick with it. You think that you're not making an impact, but you truly are. So especially during this time of the season or this time of the year, where after spring break there's no more breaks. Normally we're looking forward to a little President's Day, a little MLK, a little winter break. And this time there's no more breaks. We're now going to be steamrolling all the way to the end of the school year. And so I would just tell them the end is near. You got your summer coming up, but in the meantime, while you're there with your students, continue to push them. Even though you might not think that the vision is happening, the vision that you have for your students and for your classroom, it is happening. You just got to continue to push them and continue to push through.
Thank you for sharing all that. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for sharing your wisdom.
Thank you for having me.
And right before we wrap up this episode, at the end of every episode, I want to read a letter to one of our teachers out there that has made an impact on our students. And this is the moment where our students get to recognize a teacher. So this is our first letter of episode 1, season 1, and it's for you. Dear Miss Forrest, there are moments in life that don't seem important when they are happening, but they end up changing everything. For me, one of those moments was walking into your classroom. At the time, I thought I was doing well. I believe I understood what it meant to teach, but then I watched you. I saw a classroom where students were not just sitting, they were engaged. They were thinking, questioning, and talking through the math. There was structure, there were procedures, and there was purpose. For the first time, I didn't just see what a classroom could look like. I felt what it could be. You didn't just show me what was possible, you made me believe it. And that belief changed me. It changed the way I plan, the way I show up, the way I saw my students, and the way I saw myself as an educator. What you may not realize in those moments is that your impact extended far beyond your students. You are shaping teachers. You are building confidence in rooms you are not even in. You are shifting mindsets, and in doing so, you are shifting destinies. And I'm one of those teachers. There are things we don't always say in the moment, gratitude we don't fully express, and impact we don't fully name. But today, I want you to know this. What you did mattered. The way you thought mattered. The way you showed up mattered. And it still does. Because your influence did not stop in your classroom. It continued to every teacher you inspire and every student we now reach because of you. Thank you for being that teacher. Thank you for seeing what was possible and helping others believe it too.
You're so annoying. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wow.
I figure who else should get this first letter than the person that impacted me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, this wrapped up our first episode. Thank you for joining us. Thank you If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. Again, this was Power of a Teacher with your host, Vanessa. And thank you, Ms. Forrest, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And to all of our teachers, as you head back to school, remember there is powers in you and use it to shift destiny.
I am happy. I am happy. I have a dream.
I got a dream.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
I have a dream.
I got a dream.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
One day.
We gonna work it
I
out.
have a dream.
I got a dream.
That one day.
That one day.
That one day.
I'ma look deeper than myself. I gotta find a way.
I have a dream.
My dream is to be free. My dream is to be. My dream is to be. My dream is to be free.
In search of brighter days, I ride through the maze of the madness. Struggle is my address where pain and crack lives. Gunshots coming from sounds of blackness. Given this game with no time to practice. Born on a blacklist, told I'm below average. A life with no cabbage. That's no money if you from where I'm from. Funny, I just want some of your son. Dark clouds seem to follow me. Alcohol that my pop swallowed bottle me. No apology, I walk with a boulder on my shoulder. It's a cold war, I'm a colder soldier. Hold the same fight that made Martin Luther the king. I ain't using it for the right thing. In between lean and the fiends, hustle and the schemes, I put together pieces of a dream. I still have one.